Hi, I'm David Oliver, and this is my newest grandson, Ollie. His name is Oliver, named after me, and he's who I'm living for. What a cute little guy. But I have stage 4 nasopharyngeal cancer, widespread to the bone. I've had chemotherapy and I've had surgery, but as expected, the cancer has reared its ugly head, and this was just about 2 months ago. This time the symptoms are headaches, vomiting, sore teeth, deafness, and fatigue. Now, as far as the fatigue goes, which is really pretty serious, my palliative care physician diagnosed sleep apnea as maybe one problem. And it was. A sleep lab showed that I was stopping breathing at least 55 times in 1 hour. So now I have a VPAP, which I put on, every night. But by golly, I sleep well and I have all kinds of new energy. So that was a good call and a good thing. But the headaches and the vomiting and the sore teeth continued. So luckily my wife pushed for an MRI. She said, we need to get a look at this. So I had an MRI. And for the first time I saw this little guy inside my nose. It's now 2 centimeters long. And it was clearly pressing on my nerves and on my sinuses and also on that center of the brain which causes nausea. And so I had to do something. So palliative radiation was recommended. And I had to give that a whole lot of thought. 2 physicians were recommending aggressive therapy. Not just radiation, but chemotherapy. And together, they thought there could be a possible cure. And one of them even said, we can get rid of this permanently, David. And that, that was pretty, tempting to go for the aggressive route. But instead, I chose a palliative dose. That's a dose of 4,000 grays, as they call it, over the course of 20 treatments, instead of a full dose, which would be 7,000 grays. There's a reason, I have a number of reasons why I made that decision for the lower dose, in spite of being told it might cure me or get rid of it permanently, and I'll share those reasons later. But let me tell you a little bit about the radiation and the experience. First off, I had to have a custom mask, and I think there's a slide. You're looking at a slide down. You can see me. And that mask that you're looking at had to be fitted to my head because I had to hold my head perfectly still for every one of these treatments so that the radiation would go to the right spot. Not only did I feel like Hannibal Lecter, I looked like Hannibal Lecter. And in the beginning, they didn't give me, the technicians who are wonderful, they didn't give me much chance to catch my breath. That mask gave me claustrophobia and I had trouble breathing. And so I finally told them, I said, let me get my breath just before you put that on. So I'd breathe in and I'd breathe out. And finally I'd get a rhythm going. And then I'd say, let's go. And they'd put the mask on. And I learned to continue to do that. And I got into some deep in and out breathing. And as a result, I learned how to relax. And that was, that made the whole experience, easy, actually. I would even call it easy. Now, I kept my eyes shut. And I could see, in spite of that, strobe-like lights. And the people said other people had seen those. I also heard strange noises. But learning how to relax was the key. I even nicknamed the machine, having fun. I called it Waldo. And by the way, that's a very good definition. And if you don't believe me, look it up. A great definition for a linear accelerator. And I hope they continue to call it Waldo. At least they did in my presence. In fact, those radiation technicians were great. And each procedure only lasted about 10 or 15 minutes. It wasn't so bad. And those treatments caused me no pain, absolutely no pain. But the side effects were fatigue and a sore throat and some more nausea. and that wasn't so pleasant. But in the end, the palliative dose worked. Right now, I'm feeling much better. The headaches, the vomiting, the sore throat, my sore teeth, they're all gone. And I feel as normal as ever. So now, what about this decision to do this less aggressive palliative approach to the cancer, especially when I was told that a cure might be possible, or a permanent cure from the experience? Well, let me give you 3 reasons. First, the scientific literature shows that nearly 50% of all oncologists who use the word cure, it's used in incurable situations. It's just that my definition of cure, and surely your definition of cure, means forever. But to many oncologists, the definition might be very different. It might mean 6 months, or 1 year, or 3 years, and maybe at best 5 years. So you got to be sure just what is meant by cure, or to get rid of it permanently. You know, when I was first diagnosed with my cancer, I was 69 years old. And if you look at all the available data, criteria, my life expectancy then would have been 87, 18 more years. In fact, I had a 75% chance of living beyond age 80, a 50% chance of living beyond 87, and even a 25% chance of living beyond 93. But trust me, I'm not going to live 18 more years. You know, at best, I might live 2. That's pretty optimistic. You know, when each time I'm generally told I have about 6 months. And here's my little dog Chewy, who just jumped up on my lap, and you've seen him in other videos. I just want you to know he's still taking care of me. He's a cute little guy. At any rate, the second reason for not taking the full dose was because the toxins and the side effects that you would get from a full dose simply create risks that outweigh the benefits. I don't, for me, it's simply not worth it. I don't want to spend my time fighting this thing in hospitals and clinics all the time. I want to be able to get out and do things and have as the word goes, a quality of life or a quality of living in the time that I have left. And so I've been doing that. You know, some people who fight this thing end up dying from the side effects, you know, not from the cancer. At any rate, a third reason was basically because these metastatic cancer cells in my body are still there. They're floating around. And they can, right now they're less than a centimeter in length, and therefore they're not detected by a PET scan. But eventually they're going to rear their ugly head, and that will either be in some organ, or who knows, they may again start feasting on my bones. And so any radiation to my head wouldn't have any difference or affect that in any case. So by treating this, but not too aggressive, Debbie and I, my wife and I, have been able to travel. We've been able to enjoy our kids, and especially enjoy our Missouri Tigers, and even I've been able to ride my bike. You know, some people may choose to do it otherwise, and that's fine for them. It's just not my way, okay? I know the cancer's there, and but I choose to focus on living, not dying. And so far it's working. The last 2 years have been the best years of my life. And guess what? Football season's coming. Yeah, go Tigers. M-I-Z-S-E-C. I'm ready for it, and I hope I'm there.